Hello everyone, my name is Emily, and this is another Sketchbook story time. This is the story about how I got cheated on, and I mean like really fucked up kind of cheated on. Not just like, things were falling apart and, he fell in love with someone at the office. No, like really all sorts of fucked up cheated on. For legal purposes, all the names in the story except my own will be changed. So let's start with some introductions here. Why don't we call him Sam? Because Sam's a name and fuck you, Sam. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that I have made some pretty poor mistakes in the past. I have chosen some not amazing lovers, both male and female, and I have gotten myself into a whole lot of trouble. I am not afraid to admit that I have some abandonment issues and also that I kind of need to be needed, and I will find people or get with people and find out they're poisonous, and instead of leaving, I will stay because I think in my head, oh, they're just going through something or it's a phase or I can mommy them back to health. I'm aware that that's something that I do, so you guys don't have to tell me, wow, Emily, you're an idiot. You put yourself in harm's way for people that absolutely would not do the same for you. So I get it. Yeah, I know. I feel like now that I'm able to identify it, it becomes a little bit easier to catch that bullshit before it starts to unfold. I feel like the more objective you are as a person, the more you're able to look inside yourself instead of throwing blame outward all the time. That's the quickest way to weed out the good from the bad, not only within you, but also around you. At some point, if you notice patterns of bad people coming in and out of your life willy-nilly, you've got to kind of look at the common denominator, and that's not these other shitty people, it's you. And you are either letting them in or letting them in and then letting them stay. Letting them stay seems to be above all the number one issue here. Yeah, shitty people will find a way into your life because there are a fuck ton of them out there. I am telling you, I am an expert on fuckheads, and there are a lot of them. The biggest thing is letting them hang around. That's what happens. That's how people bring you down. So let this story be another Emily Artful lesson of her fucking up for you and being like, hey, coming crawling towards you with a black eye and blood coming out of her mouth. Don't worry, I took one for the team. Here's the lesson that I learned. Here's how Sam fucked me over real hardcore. Right in the hole that the penis accidentally goes into. And I am doing air quotes so hardcore. They just wanted to go in there and you not say anything. Now, Sam was a handsome guy. He was an all-American kid, blonde hair, blue eyes, freckles, tan skin, just all-American John Deere tractor, guns, burgers kind of guy. He worked on cars, he was in a band, and he was the second person I dated who worked on cars and or motorcycles and was in a band. So clearly, some about that combination just wasn't working out for me. Our relationship was pretty standard. Everything was fine. It wasn't exceptionally amazing. We had been dating for about a year at this point. We went out on dates regularly. He was about a 10-15 minute ride on the interstate from me. So, there was a little bit of distance there, but we saw each other every weekend, sometimes during the weekdays. I spent the night at his house. I was close with his family and his siblings. Like, everything worked out pretty well for this relationship. I can very easily tell the longevity of any kind of friendship or relationship pretty much right away. I'm really good at that. And I knew this wasn't the guy I was going to end up with, and I didn't even think it was going to last that long. Not because I saw us like crashing and burning. Most of the time, it's just because I'm like, I don't know how long I could love this person, and it's kind of a curse and a blessing at the same time. So I wasn't 100% invested in this relationship, and I am aware that I probably could have given a little bit more, and maybe that's why he strayed, but it's not like I was withholding sex. It's not like I was withholding actual love. I just wasn't going that extra step You know what I mean? But other than that, everything was all fine and good on the Western Front. No troubles ahead or anything like that, or excessive fighting or whatever. One day, Sam let me know that he was taking up like this charity event where he would have to go up into the city being San Francisco, every other weekend. I literally thought nothing of it. I didn't ask any questions, and I beat myself up so much for not asking more questions, I guess. He made it seem super casual, like, oh, I'm just doing this thing. He didn't name a foundation. I don't think I'm not 100% sure. I don't really remember. I just remember I didn't ask the right questions when I should have. After about a month of him being gone every other weekend, I finally pulled my head out of my asshole and asked him, what foundation are you working for? And he looked at me like I insulted his mother. He was like, I don't know right now. Is that important? He got super defensive, and I was just like, okay. And by the way, this isn't something that I like called specifically to ask him. It just came up in a conversation. It was just like an, oh, by the way, aside kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, but what do you do there? And he was just like, I don't know, towel service, food stuff. I just can't remember right now. And that was like, immediately. There were no suspicions before, but immediately just red flags came up. I was like, oh shit, he's doing something he's not supposed to. And honestly, my first thought was not cheating. That was not even on my mind. My thought was like, oh my God, is he doing drugs? I want to talk. Oh my God, is he doing drugs or drinking or I don't even know. I just like, what is he doing that he's being so weird about? And that really, if he would have been able to keep a little bit more, be a little bit more composed, I just think I would have never found out. But he's just clearly not the sharpest knife in the drawer. When I relayed this information to my girlfriends, they were like, oh my God, do you think he's seeing another girl? Is he living a double life? Have you found anything in his room? Have you, pressed his sisters or brother for information? Have you gone through his phone? And I'm just like, I'm like just being dumped this information. Apparently I'm supposed to do all these things. And I'm just like, no, I am very anti going through your spouse's stuff. I think it's, what they choose to keep and what they choose to get rid of is their own business and not yours, no matter what. If they have a shrine to their ex, yeah, that would be a little weird, but like keeping a picture or a movie ticket or something, that's fine. You know what I mean? And I just never had thought of even daring to pick up his phone for any reason. That's his thing, his property, you know what I mean? And I'm a little bit more open with my phone and things like that, but some people aren't, and I understand that. Maybe it's because I'm an artist and people are like, oh my God, let me go through your sketchbook, and I just want to sock them in the nuts. So me being the very naive person that I was, next time I saw him, I just looked at him and said, hey, can I go through your phone? And again, he looked at me like I just pulled out a dick and said, surprise, motherfucker. He was so confused. Like, why do you need to go through my phone? Like, what do you think? You don't trust me? And he got so pissed off that I would ask that. And I said, no, it's fine. Forget I even said it. Well, can I go through your phone? Of course, he just asked that question to prove a point. And of course, I said, sure, which made him even angrier. And he just got really upset. And it was kind of an awkward night for the rest of the night. He didn't want me to sleep in his bed. So I just ended up going home. It was just a really shitty night. I was just like, I am so confused. And I was still trusting. I still believed him. I really thought that he was getting defensive like that because he thought I didn't trust him and that somehow upset him. And in reality, no. When people get hyper defensive like that, it's usually because they're hiding an insecurity or a flaw or a fuck up in this case. And the funny thing is, the next day, he miraculously had a change of heart and drove all the way up to my work and handed me his phone and said, just kidding, honey, I love you so much, I'll let you look through my phone any day. And suck my dick until I busted on them titties. There was nothing on that phone, not a damn incriminating thing, because you want to know why? Jesus was on his side that day. No, he thought he was a genius and like, oh, I'll go ahead and delete anything that leads her to believe that I'm cheating on her. What a genius. Oh my God. Even though I was kind of on high alert, I wanted so badly to believe that he wasn't doing anything wrong. So I just said, you know what? It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm really sorry. I was being paranoid. And he's like, yeah, you were. You really were. And I felt really guilty. And I'm like, maybe I am just being paranoid. It's a little weird, but who knows? He's a weird guy. I ended out that discussion by saying, hey, I love you and I trust you and respect you. And I know that you respect me enough that if anything ever did happen, that you would just break up with me instead of being unfaithful and hurting two people in the process. And he was like, oh, yeah, of course I do that. What idiot wouldn't do that? And I hope you do the same for me. Just basically jerking my chain like, yep, yep. Yep, I'm a great boyfriend. Yep, yep, yep. He continues doing this charity work, again, air quoting, very hard for a few months, and I don't really ask any more questions about it. I just let him do it. One day, I get a message on Facebook because isn't that how I always get fucked? So that's why I don't have Facebook Messenger app on my phone. So if you ever Facebook message me, you better hope that I'm near a computer and I'm on Facebook at the same time because I have an aversion to checking my Facebook messages now. Anyway, I received a message from a girl, let's call her Celine, and let me quickly paint a picture of her. She was at the time, probably 18-year-old Korean girl with bleach blonde hair who fucking loved to party. Every single picture on her Facebook was of her and her bunch of fucking white chick friends doing the peace sign covered in that rave candy, the jewelry that you wear to rave. I don't fucking know. But all of her pictures were like poorly lit with flash and just all of her friends like, yes, give it, yes, yes, I just want to party. The message simply read, I think it's time we set the record straight. Out of everything I remember about this is what I remember the most. And I come back with, excuse me, because I already know what's going to happen. So I said, excuse me, with 3 question marks. I'll set the record straight for you, honey. Here's 3 question marks, bitch. Come and get it. How about now? Because y'all know I'm about that 3 question mark thug life. Not 1, not 2, but 3 again. Surprise, motherfucker. Of course, this fucking bitch comes in just fucking ripping on me and calling me all sorts of names. And again, I just said, excuse me, 3 question marks. It's not that big of a deal. I was so confused. What else is new? This girl was just yelling at me and tearing into me over some weird things. She just basically was saying I'm a horrible girlfriend and confirmed the fact that oh, shit. that Sam was cheating on me. Okay, I'll bleep that out. So your girl came up with this genius plan while this fucking bitch is going off like a cuckoo clock on me. I go ahead and call Sam up and I say, I'm gonna ask you one more time, are you cheating on me? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And he starts saying, I'm so sick and tired of this. You are being crazy. Just let it go. You are paranoid and putting it all on me. And he's like, I am not cheating on you, babe. I am not one of those guys. And then I just cut him off and I said, you know what? Actually, you are one of those guys because I'm getting messages from your little girlfriend about how I'm a horrible person and that I am a bitch and a bad girlfriend. I forgot to mention, by the way, the reason I knew that this wasn't some random girl fucking with us and that he couldn't use that excuse is because his sister and his brother both called me Celine or her name at different points. So they must have known that something was going on because at the time I didn't think anything of it, but now it's like, oh, crystal clear because he did try to be like, well, this could just be a random chick trying to mess with you or one of my exes or blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, your brother and sister both called me this name and recently. Never had they called me that before or at the beginning of our relationship, so it wouldn't have made any sense if it was his ex. And then I said, look, just face it. You're caught red-handed. And I shit you not, after I said red-handed, he hangs up the phone. I kind of pause. I try to call back and the number goes straight to voicemail. And you know what, guys? I never heard from this person again. I had slept on it. I cried my tears. I woke up and I was oddly fine with it because I knew something was wrong. So I was almost prepared in a way. I go on Facebook. I block the girl because she kind of kept sending me messages, not all night long, but for another few hours after. I block her and then I go to his Facebook and his Facebook is gone. He blocked me, whatever. I'm like, wow, you're not even man enough to fucking own up to your shit and be like, yeah, I cheated on you. What do you want to do? Obviously, he knew I was just going to break up with him, but he couldn't even face the truth. How fucking pathetic. So then I go ahead and unadd any of his, exclusively his friends off of my Facebook. I block them. I'm done. I am 100% done. I think it's bullshit. I was so pissed, but I wasn't even heartbroken. I was just mad. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is how you break up with people? This is how you cheat, you lie, and you make the other person feel like a sack of shit, and then when you're caught, you run away from your problems. It's pathetic. But you know what? I got over it pretty quickly, like I said before, because I was totally expecting it. I was naive and I wanted to believe otherwise, but I was bracing myself for the worst. One of my favorite quotes that I've ever heard is actually from BoJack Horseman. If I can't give that show enough praises, I don't know what I'll do to live. And one of the not so main characters says, when you are looking at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. And I think it's an amazing, just very, very true quote. When you think the world of someone, all their shit and everything that's like, wow, that's a lot of fires to put out, that you don't see that. You don't see that because you're looking at them with obviously rose-colored glasses. You are dazzled by their perfection, but you know what? No one's perfect. Everyone has some kind of horrible shit show going on in their head, and some flaws are more compatible than others, and clearly his flaws and my flaws were just not mincing well. This is not where this story ends, my friends. Oh no. 2 months after we broke up and I hadn't heard anything from him, I hadn't tried to make any contact with him or any of his friends, I get a letter in the mail, and it's this shitty like Microsoft Word but with like weird font typed up letter thing. It didn't look official or like it could hold up in a court of law at all. And it was basically a copy paste cease and desist letter saying like, oh, you need to leave Sam alone, and if you do not stop trying to contact Sam, he will contact his lawyer. And I was just like, wait, what the fuck? I haven't even talked to this guy in 2 months. I basically just threw the letter away and forgot about it until about a full year after I received that letter. One of our mutual friends that I remained in touch with, I like just had brought it off a whim, like, oh my God, I totally forgot about this. And they're like, oh wait, nobody told you? And I'm like, nobody told me what? So Sam didn't even send that letter. Celine sent that letter to my house. How she got my address, I don't even fucking know. That bitch was crazy because since he had cheated on me with her, when they got together, she was hyper paranoid that he was still talking with me, even though he obviously wasn't. So she sent a letter almost in Sam's name, just in case we were still talking. And even after her many displays of insanity, he still stayed with her. I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea what she's doing. That was so many years ago, but it is a really funny story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook story time. Also, I'm obviously not with my regular recording stuff. I'm using just a little phone mic, so there will be some pops here and there. I'll try to fix them in post. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this drawing. Very simple ink and gouache piece. Just had a lot of fun doing it. I really like black work and I don't do it very often. So don't forget this original piece will be available in my Etsy store for purchase. And thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to stay out of trouble. See you guys later.